Welcome back to the show. Check out these headlines we have for you today. Brad Garlinghouse on a top 10 list. Ripple targets a $2.7 trillion market opportunity. And we got Ripple in a central bank, and the central bank is speaking, baby. China and the Belt Road Initiative, 155 countries. Brian Brooks shed lights on Ripple and a technical analysis chart you're just going to love. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Before we get started, let's take an obscene sponsor break right here. Yes, absolutely. It is linked to the best private equity in the world. Listen, I say it, but I'm going to tell you something. I don't say things I don't believe. Because the reality is, it is the best opportunity to private equity in the world. And now that's a statement. If you don't believe me, click the link underneath, sign up, register, get started. It's that simple. What are you waiting for? The best opportunities in the world before they have some kind of a public exit. It's waiting for you. Over 500,000 registered users have already taken advantage of this opportunity. Why haven't you? Click the link to my sponsor underneath the video just to get started. It is that simple, and you won't believe the opportunities are there. Link to Uphold, Ripple, you name it, PolySign. It's incredible. The list goes on and on. Right here we see $1.61 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 0.9%. We're loving that. Right now, $41,850 for Bitcoin. I hope we all get rich. Ethereum, $2,200 and change. And Tether market cap is 89.9 billion plus. We don't know how the government feels about it though. XRP number 5 spot, 61 cents. It's off by 1.4 in the 24-hour and up 1% on the 7-day. The price range currently right now between 60 cents on the bottom and 62 on the top. Not too bad. We'll keep an eye on that. Let's get started right here. And what a way to start this show today. Shout out to Brad Garlinghouse's CoinDesk says the wait is over. Introducing CoinDesk's most influential 2023. This annual list, no, it's not a ranking, recognizes the people who, for the better and sometimes the worse, define the year in digital assets in Web3. Shout out to CoinDesk for this list. Sam Altman, as we know, AI, Paolo Ordino, however you say his name, I believe that's Tether. Like they said, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. We don't know. Brian Armstrong, Jose Fernandez de Ponte, Brad Garlinghouse himself, CEO of Ripple. Shout out to him. Gary Gensler, ooh, you know, from the crowd. Jenny Johnson, Lido Dow, Casey Rodamore, I believe it is, and Ryan Selkis makes the list here. Look, Brad Garlinghouse simply says 2023 has been truly one for the history books. Thankful to all who believed in us from the beginning. And you know what? You got it, Brad. We believed in you all the way. Here is the article from Jeff Wilser, who is probably one of the few objective journalists left in the world, ladies and gentlemen. And I know that from personal experience from working with Jeff. Shout out to him for this incredible article here. Ripple co-founder Brad Garlinghouse emerged triumphant this year in the legal cases with big implications for crypto's future. He couldn't have done it without the XRP Army. And Brad says it himself right here. 2023 most influential awards should be given not just to Garlinghouse, but also the entire XRP Army. I couldn't agree more, he says here. And what a class act Brad is, right? There's no question about that. And Jeff Wilser, who wrote the article here, Most Influential Awards. It was fun to speak with Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, who has sneakily had one of the best comeback stories of 2023. But as Brad and I both said, the award spiritually belongs to the XRP Army. How about that? Class acts, I tell you right now. And this is an image from Ashley Prosper as we wrap this here. When the SEC thought Ripple was alone, and then the XRP Army appeared. What a great gift right here, Ashley. I love this. Yeah, and that's exactly how we rose up and just showed up out of nowhere, didn't we? Yeah, you know, stronger together. That's the reality here. And look what Ripple's doing in spite of everything they've been through. They continue to keep their head down and focus and be goal-oriented and build the opportunities and market infrastructure into new places like the continent of Africa right here. Ripple cites XRP role in estimated $2.7 trillion market opportunity in African fintech space. Yeah. There's not much more to glean from the article here, but I tell you what, I remind you of Zange.com, which is working with the United Nations to put together a decentralized platform in Africa. This goes along with the understanding of what Ripple has highlighted here, the $2.7 trillion market opportunity for newer, faster payments. How about that? Loving that for all of us and the people of Africa. Here we see Georgia and its partnership with Ripple for a central bank digital currency project. I'm not going to play this whole clip, but I do want to give you a few bits of this that are really, really nice. Let's take a listen to the regulator from Georgia about the opportunity with central bank here and Ripple.
Approach. We started CBDC project as well. Still on the very initial stage, but we are glad to announce that we invited well-known Ripple company who helped us with the piloting stage. Also, we will be advanced.
Yes, and we love hearing that. Now, let me move you here to this spot, which is right about right here. We can let that go. Now, before we do, I want to make this mention here. You know, why do I get excited when you know that I'm not a fan of central bank digital currencies? Because that's what XRP's role is on the ledger, right? Is to work as an insulation, right? As a bridge, to not be bound, right? By the bad ideas that the Chinese yuan has made, which we're getting ready to talk about here in just a second. But listen to the rest of this clip here.
We started CBDC project as well. Still on the very initial stage, but we are glad to announce that we invited well-known Ripple company who helped us with the piloting stage. Also, we will be advanced in this respect, and this is another contribution to the global environment of fintechs in Georgia, and that's why I'm mentioning that. Technical sandbox project, which is under implementation with the support of IFC World Bank Group. Yeah. So there will be more fintech infrastructure in place.
We've got lots to look forward to.
Yes, they do. And you know what? We're going to keep it moving because think about the larger geopolitical implications here of central bank digital currencies with all the countries around the world. And keep in mind that China has been out front leading the race with the digital yuan. And understand that they also have been pushing the Belt and Road Initiative, which is now influencing 155 countries to consider replacing the US dollar with the Chinese yuan in global trade. Think of the impact here. Now come back to what I was discussing and what I was saying. And what I was saying is this is why I have been such a fan of XRP, the digital asset, and XRP Ledger and the decentralized exchange, right, for the XRP Ledger, because you can develop all of these central bank digital currencies. And believe me, China's already off to a start of controlling their people through the digital money, right? There are going to be other countries that also follow that same sort of path, which is really creepy to me. But the reality is, if we can have a bridge currency like XRP exist between all of the dollars of the world, complementing the system, then we can understand that we don't have to be beholden to the bad decisions made by governments around the world for their central bank digital currencies like the digital yuan itself. You'll remember a short time ago, I played that there was a lady in China who was given a gift card, and she could not eat and use the gift card until she attached her facial recognition to the card. She could not eat and get something to eat for herself. That is disgusting to me, right? But it doesn't mean that it's going to change the way that China's doing what they're doing. It certainly isn't. But understanding that in the future, if you could have something like a bridge currency like XRP serve in this role, then you feel a little, I certainly feel a little better understanding that I don't have to be beholden to a Chinese yuan one day. I could have XRP and simply pay for goods if I need to, or whatever other example of a CBDC you would like to use, right? So that's where we are with that. Now, let's move on to this, because this is a great clip of Brian Brooks breaking down in so many ways. And I don't know if you could, I mean, you know, this is one of the guys, you know, between Brian Brooks and Chris Giancarlo, these two gentlemen understand this technology and understand how it needs to sit, I believe, in the eyes of a regulator as well. I want you to listen to this clip as Brian breaks down better than almost anybody could here and sheds light on not only what this technology is, but on Ripple itself. Take a quick listen here.
Is, you know, the biggest issue that I always try and focus on is cryptocurrencies are really not about currency. And the biggest misunderstanding of this whole discussion is the belief that if crypto is not doing a great job of replacing the US dollar, then crypto is failing in its mission. And what I think we'll talk about a little bit today is the idea that most of crypto is about replacing the centralized banking system with networks that allow user control versus bank CEO control. The crypto assets that have prices are more like internet stocks. It's more like you bet on Google if you think there's going to be high internet traffic, and you short Google if you think people are going to go back to the post office, right? But it's not that Ethereum or Ripple or anything else is trying to replace the US dollar. It's trying to replace a system of transmitting value. And we'll talk a lot more about that. So for me, the prices are not that relevant any more than Google's volatility is. And in the early days of Google, that was super volatile.
What a great clip. Shout out to Good Morning Crypto for that. And we've covered it before, but it's really relevant to the conversation this morning, isn't it? Because it speaks to what we're talking about, the ability to replace the infrastructure in which we transmit value, and being able to offer that from the company Ripple and the digital ledger, the digital distributed ledger technology, XRP ledger, the XRP token, and understand that these things complement the system that we're moving into. We are not going back the other way. So what is the solution from the world becoming enslaved to digital money? From where I stand today, it's XRP and the XRP ledger and the decentralized exchange. Talk me out of it. Let's take a look at this today, because you're going to love this. This is Grad Crypto saying XRP rockets, ladies and gentlemen, 21 EMA and the 55 MA signal explosion as they are crossing right here. And as we've seen happen in XRP's history from 2017 to 2018 and then in 2021 again, we saw it, and now here we are. Could we be seeing a repeat? Let's decode this really quickly here. The XRP trajectory, his focus says just two pivotal weekly candles after the crossover between 21 and the 55. Post-bullish crossover, we saw two striking two-week candles. The initial one surged around 90%, trailed by an electrifying 1,100%. You can see that here. Then he goes on scenario B here. Another scene unfolded, a 100% leap in the first candle, succeeded by an 84% surge in the second, both candles boasting a collective 200% upswing in the 2021 boost. So we're looking at what could we see again. He says, eyes fixed on Bitcoin as the majority anticipates 48 to 50,000 for a peak, potentially followed by a pullback, igniting a widespread alt season. Yet what's intriguing, a scenario where Bitcoin skyrockets to all-time high, retraces and unleashes a truly wild alt season. He says, my camp, XRP's initial surge to $7 to $10, a major retrace, then skyrocketing to a jaw-dropping $20 to $30. Whoa! If that happens, put yourself mentally in the exercise of saying, what do I do at $7 to $10? Is that a place where I had already scheduled and planned to take profits? And if it is, what are you taking? Don't share it with me. Work this out amongst yourselves, right? Then at $20 to $30, are you prepared to take profits there? Some people I know are not taking profits at all until they get to 3 or 4 digits because of their position they have, and they're not in a place where they need to touch it. You know, some people have plans to take stuff at $5, right? Everyone has to craft their own approach, their own scenario in which they're going to begin to take some kind of profits or exit or position. Now, ultimately, for myself, I do have some spots where I want to take profit early on, but the ultimate goal is that I have the long-term portion of my portfolio that I intend to hold back so I can figure out when automated market makers make their way to the XRP ledger, will that be a more lucrative opportunity for me and my family to where we don't have to sell the remainder of our assets at all? How about that one? Now, if you stuck around this long, you're going to love this because we're going into the freedom zone today. And you know what we're going to talk about in the freedom zone? You remember in the political world when there was a bunch of emails, cell phones that got deleted, smashed? You remember that? I remember that. Well, if you want to see them, we got them. All you got to do is click the button and join us in the Freedom Zone, digperspectives.com. Don't mess around. We've got it for as long as we've got it, and it's in here. And if you want to see them, we got the long list. We're all breaking the shovels out. Let's work together, and let's get through these things and find out what was really going on back then at that time. It was so important to delete all those emails and smash all those cell phones. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.